Oh, yeah. The Commander Rules Committee finally did something. They're no longer in hibernation. They have banned cards in Commander. This is incredible. As you can see on screen, Dockside Extortionist, Jewel Lotus, Mana Crypt, and Nadu Winged Wisdom are now banned in Commander. Like, this is crazy. And I actually can't believe they did that because, as you can see, the prices of these cards, as of right this moment, the recording of the video, $85 Dockside Extortionist. $114 for Jeweled Lotus, $300 for Mana Crypt. Maybe you could probably get it for $200. Nadu, $3, no big deal. But 3 cards worth over $80 each. Now they're gonna plummet. They're gonna crash down to the dirt pretty soon here. But like, this is absolutely crazy. I never would have thought the Rules Committee would have made this change because of the prices of these cards. Like, I thought that anything above like $40, including Ristic Study, which I made a video on, I think anything over those prices was basically plot armored into surviving all EDH ban lists. So this is incredible. So let's look at the Rules Committee quarterly update here. So they say they're highlighting an event for Sheldon and everything. Okay, really great. Everybody check that out. So here's the Rules Committee cards. The philosophy of Commander prioritizes creativity. One of the ways we have historically reflected on that in the rules ban list is to encourage a slower pace of game than traditional formats. Now this is key. This gives decks time and space to develop and do different things. We have a goal to make it easier for players to enjoy slower, more social games, to have an environment for them to explore. Commander has always had potential for someone to get out to a fast start and be the first arch-villain in the game, but that advantage has been balanced by having multiple players gunning for them once it happens. In the past few years, however, since Strixhaven, they've seen a pattern of stronger mid-game cards that lead to the player who skips past the early game to be able to snowball straight through to the win. Occasional games are fine, but they shouldn't be common, and we are taking steps to reduce that frequency by banning 3 explosive mana cards. So, Mana Crypt, Jewel Lotus, Dockside Extortionist. Mana Crypt, Nitpicking Nerds made a video on this already. They believe it's the strongest card in the format. I tend to pretty much agree. I mean, Soul Ring and Mana Crypt, 1A, 1B, you know, the strongest cards in, and they're going to talk about Soul Ring in a second. 2 strongest cards in Commander, Mana Crypt and Soul Ring. Mana Crypt's $200 card, probably more. Now it's going to crash way down. It's already crashing. So Mana Crypt comes down for no mana, 0 mana, turn 1, and you can have a crazy explosive start, Signet, Talisman, Land, other Signet, leaving the player with 5 mana turn 2. In games going 12 turns, it can reduce the number of turns into, by half, basically, with Mana Crypt. Jewel Lotus, somewhat similar. Not as strong as Mana Crypt, but still extremely swingy. It's a very swingy card. They give you 5 mana turn 2 or 4 mana turn 1. This is especially good for 1 and 2 mana commanders. 1 and 2 color commanders. Now, there's the argument that Jeweled Lotus enables 6+ mana commanders and makes them more playable in the format. I see where people come from with that, but the issue here is that they mentioned Ward. Ward cannot be interacted with early in the game. You have crazy cards like Voya, Voja that are just overpowered if you get them in early, and overpowered in general. Dockside Extortionist, this card should have been banned years ago. You know what? All of these should have been banned years ago. Jewel Lotus never should have been printed. Mana Crypt, I mean, that's an old card. I get why they printed it, but it should have been banned a decade ago in Commander. It should never have been legal, in my opinion. Dockside Extortionist should never have been printed. Should have been banned a year after it was printed. Like, that's it. But anyway, it's not normally as explosive in the early game as the other 2 cards, but it can go mana positive turn 2 and start generating treasures after that. You can blink it, you can flicker it, you can reanimate it, you can copy it. It's extremely easy to cast. The color pips are nothing. It's 2 mana. It's insane. So all of those cards are incredibly broken mana accelerants. And so they're talking about the elephant in the room. They're not banning Soul Room, and they have no desire to. Yes, based on the criteria, it would be banned. However, they think it is the iconic card of the format and sufficiently tied to the identity of the format that it defies the laws of physics in a way that no other card does. Banning Soul Ring would be fundamentally changing the identity of the format. We are not trying to eliminate all explosive starts. It happening once in a while is exciting, and removing these 3 cards geometrically reduces the number of hands capable of substantial above curve mana generation in the first few turns. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I mean, Soul Ring, I'm kind of, it's like a $2 card. It's in every Commander precon. The thing with Soul Ring is that it isn't every precon, so if they banned it, they might have to make a separate rule, similar to what they did with, I believe, Stoneforge Mystic back in the day, where it's like, if you buy the precon, you are allowed to play the card only in that precon. So they could do that with Soul Ring. or they could just rip off the Band-Aid and ban it. I mean, I don't care either way. It is pretty iconic for Commander. I'll give them that. But it's overpowered. In any case, there's another ban, Nadu Winged Wisdom. Basically, this card, they banned it for solitaire-style turns. Non-deterministic sequences and combos that may or may not fizzle out. That's what Nadu is. It's same with a lot of other cards that do that. And so let's go. So here we go. Let's look at the count of these cards. So 16%. Dockside Extortionist was in 16% of all decks that touched red. And as I mentioned in previous videos, Dockside Extortionist and other cards like Rhystic Study should be in 100% of decks that touch those colors. The fact that it's only in 16% is due to the price tag of $85, which by the time you watch the video, this card will be crashing. So Jewel Lotus, 7%. Now this one, another monetary thing, 338,000 decks. Dockside is in 347,000. 7% for a colorless card is actually insane, because colorless can go in any deck, and anything above like 1% in colorless is like very highly played. So yeah, Jewel Lotus, super crazy. Yeah, you know, I see why they banned it. I mean, I honestly, I agree with all of these bans. And on top of that, I'm going to make another video in the future saying which cards, in addition, should also be banned. There's a lot of cards that could be banned in Commander. I'm a ban-happy person. If you guys think that Commander Rules Committee is too extreme, wait till you see my ban list, okay? So, yeah, check that out in the future. I'll be putting that one out later. Mana Crypt, 11% of decks as a colorless card is insane. As a $200 colorless card, that just should not be the case. So yeah, Mana Crypt, crazy. Nadu as a card, 4%, 13,000. Now this is a brand new card. It just came out a few months ago, so understandably, it's not going to be in as many. But this is an extremely toxic style of card that makes players sit and watch you play, and it's just plain not fun. It's just plain, you know, it's not cool. Like, Nadu should not be in the format. They admitted they made a mistake when they printed it. And so let's go to some reactions here. So actually, let's first actually go back to the EDH rec. So we're still on EDH rec. Top saltiest cards. This is today, so this is going to change pretty soon. But Nadu is number 3. I'm pretty surprised that's number 3. That's higher than I thought it would be. But like, I mean, yeah, if you play against a Nadu helmed deck and they have the cards in there that are 0 cost targeting, you're going to sit there and twiddle your thumbs for 20 minutes while they, you know, regurgitate their board, you know, their deck onto the board. And it's just plain not fun. Now, this card it's not as busted, although it is busted, but it's not as busted as something like a Mana Crypt. But it is much more toxic to the type of game that players play. So yeah, number 3 most salty card on EDH Rec, scrolling down. By the way, the One Ring, if you're planning on buying this, I mean, just proxy it. I think this card is risky. This card is risky in Commander. I think it might get hit in Modern. Like everybody, look at the salt list on EDH Rec. Look at these cards. If it's an expensive card A and it's high on the salt list, like, buyer beware. Buyer beware. Like, seriously, One Ring, buyer beware. It's $100. Be careful. Same with Rhystic Study. Be careful. I think these cards are on their radar. I think they're not going to say it, but they're on the radar. So yeah, Dockside, this is like number 10 or something. It actually fell down a little bit, so another 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then scrolling down a little bit more. Jewel Lotus, this is probably like 20-ish. It doesn't have the number on here. And then I believe Mana Crypt is just below the Jewel Lotus, which is funny because it probably should be much higher than Jewel Lotus. But I guess Jewel Lotus is like, it can lead to some really crazy starts. It has a much higher, like a much more swingy effect. So yeah, going to Twitter here. Commander Rules Committee tweeted, of course, their announcement. MTG Insider responded that there's a suspicious Jeweled Lotus price graph. As you can see, apparently it appears to have drastically changed, perhaps just before the announcement. I can't verify any of this. I don't know. You know, there's like a suspicion of some perhaps insider dealings or something like that. But I'm not gonna, you know. But this is the thing. Like, anytime the RC bans a card or unbans a card, especially something expensive, you'll have cases like this where the price drastically swings up or down, and people are profiting or you know, losing their ass. You know, so like this is the crazy part. So like the prices, this is a huge reason why I thought that they wouldn't be banning stuff. Tomer from Budget Commander from MTG Goldfish I think he's excited about it. I think all the MTG Goldfish characters are excited. Saffron Olive, he says more of this, please. I agree with him. There should be more bans. Jimmy Wong makes the post as well from Command Zone, and says, you know, he kind of comments later in his tweets that he does not, he tries not to like influence the CAG or the RC in any capacity, because I don't know if he's on that. I think Josh Lee Kwai is on it, but I don't know if Jimmy's actually on it. In any case, yeah, I actually really like this tweet. So Dana Roach says, I think a lot of players loved Crypt, Lotus, and Dockside the same way World of Warcraft players love open world PvP. What they actually love is popping out of stealth and stun locking someone at 15% health. Yeah, I mean, I would say Nadu is more of a stun lock than the others, but like it's the same idea. It's a pub stomp. So like if you get these cards and either you or any number of other players at the table do not understand how strong and busted these cards are, like you are just going to cause havoc for, like, especially if a new player sits down at an LGS or at kitchen table and somebody, you know, rips off a mana crypt on turn 1 or even turn 2 or 3 mana crypt. Like, it's insane. Like the new player's like, wow, that card's really good. Oh, how can I buy that? Oh, it's $200, Timmy. Have fun with that. Like, we're gonna pull the ladder up behind us. You don't get to play. Like, this is a good thing, other than the monetary thing, other than the potential insider shenanigans, which I don't know. I'm not accusing anybody of like doing it. It's possible that something leaked and somebody else found out, and like a shop owner did it. I don't know. I don't want to speculate too much. Yeah, Pleasant Kenobi, he has a video out. Everybody has a video out at this point. He says, it literally does nothing. Lotus got banned to Commander. What's the floor? It's going to go to pennies overnight. I commented somewhere, I don't know where I put it, but I said that Jewel Lotus can now be the Garth One-Eyed Black Lotus token. So you could do that. Yeah, I mean, I'm laughing at it, but it's like, yeah. Yeah, here we go. So Dr. Krojima says that hate's going to be on the rules committee for this one, and they maybe should have acted sooner, but this card, Jewel Lotus, they should never have designed. Most cards with Commander or Command Zone have been bad for the format, in their opinion. I agree with that mostly. Like, you have cards like Deflecting SWAT. No, it's Fierce Guardianship. If I can locate it here. Okay. So Fierce Guardianship is just crazy. Like, this card says if you control your commander, it's free. Like, this type of card also should never be printed. Buyer beware on this card as well. I don't know if this card's getting banned or not. I mean, it's not like a fast mana. It's just salty. So I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to get banned, but just if it's a very expensive card, players, you got to be careful. Like, you got to understand, like, this type of thing could happen. So, you know, I feel a little bit bad, but I don't know. I mean, like, some of these... Dockside especially, like, everybody should have been looking at Dockside. You should not have been buying Docksides. Like, and I get it hasn't been banned in a few years, but like, come on. Like, guys, be smart about this. Like, or Proxy in your play group. If it's a crazy expensive card and it's a little bit broken, I would just say Proxy it. I mean, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like, purchase Magic with your budget, but like, just be careful about these crazy expensive cards. It sucks that people got burned on it, but I mean, that's what happens. So yeah, going past the Dana tweet, going past this tweet. Yeah, pretty much just, I liked a bunch of tweets. Somebody estimated, Magic Data Science estimated that $197 million is what was lost. I mean, that's probably an over, I don't know. I mean, if there's 50,000 of each, I don't know. Someone said 50,000 of each. But yeah, I mean, millions of dollars have been maybe not erased, but shifted, I suppose. So as a result of this, now the question is, which cards are going to go up and spike? I don't know. Sam Black actually had a very good thread here talking about this. Now he is more connected to the CEDH community, and he says he's basically against this, and he likes that the RC used a light touch and relied primarily on Rule 0, and He thought it was over. He thought Rule 0 was overtaxed and didn't work very well playing outside of a regular group. But despite that, it made sense. It's a format where players love stability. So like that was kind of his main crux. And then he goes on to say a bunch of things. I liked a couple of comments here. So he says, in an advisory role, I would have advocated against the change. If I were to take a more hands-on approach to curating the health of the format, I would ban Rhystic Study and Thassa's Oracle. Yes, 100% yes. Both of those cards should be banned. I'm not, knowledgeable on CEDH, but Thassa's Oracle sounds like a nightmare. Like, I would not want to play against that card. To be clear, Rhystic Study's gameplay is bad. Yeah, it's just bad in every aspect. I made a video on it again, so it's a 20-minute video on Rhystic Study. That Rhystic Study should have been included in this, but I think they're trying to make it like a fast mana banning. In any case, yeah, Thassa's Oracle is a card. It's never okay to play in a casual setting. Agreed. So it shouldn't be legal. And you could extend this to, like I've said before, almost everything on this top salt list is not okay to play in a casual setting. Like if you sit down with pretend you're sitting down at an event with random people and you pull out a stasis, like that's not fun. It's just crazy. So these price graphs are really off. But anyway, same thing with Winter Orb, same thing with Armageddon. Like in theory, is it the most broken card ever, Armageddon? No. But it's like super not fun in a casual setting. So this type of card, Thassa's Oracle, Rhystic Study, the One Ring is getting there. I think this card is risky. It's risky. Turgid, not okay. All these cards, I've gone ad nauseum with those. So that I agree with 100%. If it's not okay, if it's never okay in a casual setting, why is it legal in Commander? At least the most egregious versions of those cards, in my opinion, should not be legal in Commander as a casual format. I will mention actually, so since this is a CEDH thread, I think he mentioned somewhere in the thread that the CEDH should have, okay, he actually kind of likes that the RC and the CEDH were the same thing, kind of like CEDH. He wants to stay in the same format as Commander, but like the thing about that is that we'll move this over here, is that I tend to disagree. Like I get that he thinks that CEDH, like the point of CEDH is to exploit the format in the sense that it's a casual format, so CEDH is exploiting the fact that it's not catered to it. So I get that there's that angle, but CEDH could also benefit from this. Maybe they unban some of these cards that were banned. Like maybe they unban, I don't know, one of these. Probably not, but maybe. I think they might leave them banned too. But he talks about TOs. He talks about CEDH because he believes it's short-sighted. There's upcoming tournaments. I'm kind of rambling here. So in any case, I am strongly in favor of these bans. I'd ban half the cards on the salt list too, but I'm strongly in favor of these 4 bans especially. These were a great choice. This should always have been done. These should have been banned years ago. Or never printed. Like honestly, not a single one of these cards should have ever been printed. Mana Crypt, I'll give him a pass because that's a really old card. This is a reprint version of it. But the other 3, like Wizards knew better. They really knew better, and they just messed up. Like they totally should not have done that. I get why they're trying to do it. Jewel Lotus, they're trying to sell us like literally crack. Same with Dockside Extortionist. Nadu was just a screw up. They didn't mean to do that. But these two are the most egregious. Dockside and Jewel Lotus. Jewel Lotus especially, I think, because that was in booster packs. So yeah, like this is a home run from the rules committee. I agree with everything. The Soul Ring maybe could be banned. It is kind of iconic. And so people on Reddit were goofing on it. They said it's unbelievable. RC does nothing. They finally did something. There's a whole bunch of stuff here. There's people posting this. Nadu's too strong. Nadu, the card too strong for Modern because it was intended for Commander, has been banned in Commander. Oh man. It's so funny. So funny. Jewel Lotus is 0. It's a 0 mana do nothing. Your next card market order, 4 or 5 cards arrive fast, good quality. Shitty 0 mana mythic as a bonus. We wrapped your order in 5 Jewel Lotuses. There's a whole bunch of stuff here that's pretty funny. So yeah, Reddit, Magic TCG, and EDH subreddits have some pretty funny comments there. But yeah, what do you guys think in the comments? Do you agree or disagree with these bannings? Like, I think I saw some polls. It was actually a little bit split. I made a poll earlier today. My community had there's a plurality of votes that said they agreed. What do you guys think of the bans? Yes, no, maybe. Let me know in the comments. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time.